I think this was an interesting year for me. We were losing two very valuable seniors last year. They had played varsity for 3 years, which is huge. When you have guys coming back that know what they're doing, know what they're trying to do, it gives you a lot of. Wow, that was fast. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. It makes it difficult because you basically have to rebuild every year anyway. But when a couple guys can stay through it, it makes a huge difference. And this was kind of the first time I didn't have that. I had a couple guys coming back, but their roles weren't as big as they would have to be. So the challenge was there. I mean, we literally have 10 new varsity guys on this roster, and it was going to be a significant effort for all of them to push themselves where they hadn't been before, for the most part. Even then the guys coming back, they had to be more leaders. They had to work harder, establish themselves differently. And so, going in, I knew it was going to be difficult. And from the beginning, the one thing I did know is that the guys that we had were going to work really hard. That I knew. We had guys, especially our young guys, that love being in the gym, love playing basketball. They're in the gym all the time, working out. But there's challenges. This is probably one of the smallest teams I've ever had at the varsity levels, I think. And we had a real lack of experience. But as we were getting ready for the season, I felt confident that we would be able to be successful. Unfortunately for me, my father did pass away right before the start of the season, which was difficult. Definitely a difficult challenge for me, because obviously that hadn't happened before. But also, I'm usually ready at the start of the season. 2 weeks before, we're getting ready to go, and all of a sudden I'm not around. And that kind of sets a different tone for your year when things like that happen. And I really just wanted to say at the beginning that even though that was a struggle, definitely for me throughout the course of the year, the way the guys really kept going without me, were concentrated on the season. When I got back, I didn't really feel like we had missed anything, and that's an important thing to note, that even though they didn't have as much experience playing varsity basketball, that they were going to be ready when we started the season. So as a group of guys that were new, it's a real tribute to them and what they wanted to accomplish, being ready when we started the season. So thank you guys for doing that and being ready. I know this season we would have liked to do a little bit better. We let some games get away, which was unfortunate. We had some good games, but it's all in the process of learning. And I think hopefully, especially with our young guys, they got a great experience and they'll be ready to come back. And I'm really looking forward to that experience next year with those guys. But for this year, I'll go into just a little bit about each guy. I just wanted to mention Jed. You could stand up for a second right now. Just stand up. As this season became, the mantra of the season became to Band-Aid up every game. Jed, basically was called up to varsity on late notice. Really appreciate his 3 games that he played with us. Really tough to just come up and play varsity right away. So thank you for your support in the last couple weeks of the season. I know it wasn't easy, but it was really appreciated, and looking forward to more things from you, man. Thank you. Get those. No, that's fine. That's fine. As we move forward, Adam, come up here. Adam was one of our student athletes, a scholar baller. It was great. One thing about Adam, it was a strong debate for us as a program. Whether he should play JV or varsity. It's a tough one, and we go through this stuff all the time. We talk about it. Adam is a great kid. He's a great teammate. He is always positive, except when he's hurt and he's unhappy about being hurt. but the character is really important, and it really helps a program to have these type of kids, and for that, it's worth having Adam on the team. I would have loved for him to get more opportunities to play, and obviously when he might have got a chance when everybody started going down, he ended up getting hurt too, or hurting more. Those are unfortunate things, but his character and energy really supports us, and thank you for what you offered us, even though you weren't able to participate as much, man. Hey, Shane.
Yes.
I think one thing about Shane is he loves to joke around a lot, and it's his personality. It's a lot different than his brother, who I also coached, which is a good thing. He has a very positive energy about him when he plays. It's really hard at times to know which Shane you're going to get, because he's a real amazing athlete, but sometimes he takes it easy at practice, and then when he gets in games, he turns it on, and it's good and bad at the same time. You want that all the time, and I think this year it was a time for you to really learn that and figure out that you need to be that type of player, and I thought you were really getting there before you went for that steal and missed it and then hurt yourself. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was very unfortunate for us. It could have been a layup the other way. We'll remember it forever. But I hope you get healthy fast and we can get back to work, man, because we really appreciate it. Handshakes, man. Can you work the line? No, you don't like that? Man, that's rude. I just want to mention Kaylin, who could not be here tonight. One of the hardest working players we have. One of the most emotional players we have. He's actually very sorry he couldn't be here because he got a job and he's working. And he's upset about that. Money's important though. I would like to say that, for him, his first year on varsity, he's such a great athlete that he's been able to use that a long time. And there's such a significant adjustment between varsity and JV basketball, and trying to kind of train him and teach him that is a difficult step. I wasn't able to pull the reins off too early, but I think over time he was able to get some time and take advantage of some opportunities and really appreciated his contributions overall by the end of the season. And we're going to keep working on that maturity for him. He's on film, so I know he'll be able to see this later. And hopefully good things to come next year.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin. Chandler. It's funny. I mean, a lot of our players are very enigmatic. I mean, they're very hard to dial up every day what you're going to get. Chandler is definitely one of those because his practice highlight reels are insane. And it's been a challenge. I mean, we keep trying to. We see so much in you, right? I mean, we really do, man. And I know we see it. I mean, it's not hard. But again, Kayla and I, we played this game at a high level. We've coached a lot, and it's hard. It's not easy, to do what we're asking you to do. To just be a 6'5" superstar that can dunk on people. It's not easy, But we see it, so we want to keep bringing that out of you, and we hope you, over the last, the season was up and down. But those last couple games, when you started getting more time and more confidence, we can really see that start to come on. And I look at the future for you, man, and I think we got a lot of good things going. So let's keep it going, okay? All right. Jack. Another one, gym rats. We have so many of them. It's great. I mean, that makes me happy as a coach that likes to be in the gym. Scholar athlete, awesome. One thing about Jack, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the definition of California, and he is really, really cool. A little too cool for the basketball court most of the time, That's been the real challenge with him, which is always fun. I mean, you know, the one thing about him is we've been trying to push him through some things over the last couple years. You know, it wasn't until this year that we were able to really kind of talk about it, see it, and focus on it. And I thought he made such strides over the course of the year, you know, that it's really hard, like I said, going from JV to varsity. And when you start to figure it out, it gets easier. You know, I mean, we talked about it, you know, for the first time maybe in his life, he took 19 shots in a game. And they were not bad shots. I mean, it wasn't like he's jacking up 25-foot threes. He was attacking the basket, doing the things that we were asking him to do. That's what we want from these guys most of the time, is to be fearless and then take coaching on top of it. And that's where I saw you really mature, especially at the end of the year. And you know, I hope that we can keep working on that, because that's going to be huge for us. And I just see that potential is there, and I really look forward to it, man. Good job this year. Also, one of our Ironman of the year, because I don't think he missed a game. I don't think so. That's pretty amazing for this team, I think. I'm trying to keep track of who actually played all games and then didn't get hurt. Cyrus would not be one of those. Would not be one. He can blame it on me. It's definitely my fault. So you know, Kalen's actually, I think we'll blame Kalen. He's not here. Sorry, so what can I say? I mean, this guy's been a huge scorer for our program the last 3 years. Coming into varsity, you know, like with Jack, having two small guards is really never done, and especially in the Marmani League. It's such a tough league. We have such tall, athletic guards that usually play at this level. It was going to be a challenge for us. I knew that. But because of the way these guys work, because of the offensive talent that you have, you know, I could live with some of the stuff that we weren't going to be successful in. And you know, for you, I think you started to accomplish those things. I mean, you obviously started out hot. I think the hard part for you is the same thing it was for Jack. You know, being able to say, hey, I should shoot more times. I should get the ball, and when I get it, you know, if I give it up too much, it won't come back. I got to be able to take my shots, and that's a learning process. And I think, you know, for you, you helped us. I mean, you know, the game against Moorpark that we ended up losing, you know, was a huge game for you to establish that. And as long as you keep thinking that way, you know, you're going to have a tremendous amount of success. You know, wish you a lot of luck in the off season, getting to that next level, and coming back next year and being really good. Thanks, man. Chase.
Yes.
Man, what do I say? You know, Chase is one of those guys you love to hate because you know, he's tough. I mean, he has a lot of fun when he plays. Is he the hardest working player? No, he's not. I'm sure he would admit that. Does he work hard when he's playing? Yeah, most of the time. He works hard. It took him almost the whole season to get in shape this year, unfortunately. He was very sick. He had a lot of problems getting back in the gym and getting healthy. It was very frustrating for him, actually. And, you know, for young, talented guys, when they go through that, you kind of don't know how to handle it, you know, and you could quit or just say, man, I don't want to do this. But he persevered throughout the whole season, and literally every game got a little bit better and a little bit better. Got some of his hops back. He always enjoyed that at practice. You know, and you know, for a young guy that had a lot of success last year, came back this year, you know, I would say a little disappointed just because he wasn't healthy, couldn't do the things that he did before. To battle through that was, you know, a tribute to him to be able to contribute in that way. You know, and I'm looking forward to us getting in the gym, working in the off season so we can have a good senior year, man. My seniors. Now I can cry. I'm going to start with Saeed. It seems like no matter where we are, if Saeed's his name gets called, there's like a huge round of applause. People are cheering, calling his name. I didn't know you were that popular outside the gym. But I just want to say thank you, man. Your attitude, your energy, your commitment, even though you couldn't be in class, your respect for, man, I can't be a practice coach. I'm so sorry. I mean, you do all the things right, man, and it makes a lot of difference to a group of kids. Everybody here loves having you as a teammate, and that's more important. Do you know what I mean? All the basketball stuff is whatever, but knowing that people respect you and care about you and want you to succeed is huge, and it's just a tribute to your character as a person. Really enjoyed having you in our program and being able to support you through this. It was a tough year academically, and you couldn't be in six, and you're trying to do all this stuff, and being able to put up with that and still give us your time. Really fortunate to have you a part of our program, man. Thank you. Grant. Knowing Grant for 4 years, I mean, it's been, or actually 5, I knew him in 8th grade. It's funny to see him kind of develop. He was a pretty dorky, slow-moving, like, not as tall kid when he started. I mean, it's a lot different now. And to see him, he was really slow. I mean, really slow. And it was really amazing to see him just stay with it and keep working and be just getting better every year, being able to shoot the ball a little better, be able to run a little faster, be able to slide his feet a little bit more. And I think last year was huge because, when he started to be able to take that baseline drive and dunk with 2 hands, we were all like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And then I just remember one game last year when he had it and he drove baseline and nobody was there, and then he just shot the layup. I was like, I don't know what's happening. But he kept progressing, and really unfortunately had the bad ankle injury that did set you back. I mean, physically and confidence-wise and all those things, you just couldn't work out that way. And I'm sure, if you didn't have the ankle injury, you could play volleyball and your hops would have been even higher, So, you're a great kid, man. We loved having you here. You were always willing to be physical at practice, in games, beat people up all the time. Practices at the elbow, running horns were always difficult. Really appreciate all your support and effort over the last 4 years. I know you didn't get as much time as you probably would have liked this year, but always there, always practicing hard, ready when your name is called to work hard. I mean, our Moore Park game, you were key in just being in there and working hard and giving us an opportunity. And it's moments like that that make the year for us and being able to contribute. So thanks, man. Good luck. Finn. Finn, another of those guys has been around, just working, just brings his lunch pail to work, smiles, just keeps going, man. Just, hey, how's it going? Every day, every practice. And again, it's hard, for some of these guys. I mean, having 13 guys on a team when, you play 5 guys, and when you get to varsity, you're not playing everybody equally. I mean, it's never going to happen. Guys got to wait their turn, and figure out, if they're going to get time, but they have to come to practice every day and work just as hard and know everything that everybody else knows. And he's one of those guys. I mean, never high, never low, just smiling, just working, trying to get better in the gym, trying to make more layups, catch more passes, all those things, really important. It's funny because, at the end of the year, all that work, it pays off. And, against Calabasas, you have one of those great games and we're like, man, maybe I messed up and I'm a terrible coach. I should have played him all year more. But, for you, just a tribute to your character and the effort and energy you put into the 4 years being here, man, we just appreciate you and thank you for everything that you've done to support Agora basketball. So thanks, man. Hassan. Just a baby in our program, really. And he hasn't been here that long, but hard to forget him. You know, he came in, 2 summers ago, and, very cocky young kid, thought he was amazing and the greatest player on the planet from Egypt. And, wanted to play varsity right away. We told him he might need to work a little harder, a little on some skills and stuff. There was other parts of his game he needed to develop. But he said he would, he said he'd work really hard. And, we were like, okay, maybe he would. One of the hardest parts about this game is just understanding it, just knowing it at a high level. And he knows, it's his struggle. And it's been his struggle. It's just understanding the game. A basketball IQ thing, it's going to be haunting him forever if he just knew more basketball at an earlier age. But he was determined, and he is determined. It's one thing I really like about him: his passion, his energy, his willingness to do whatever, listen to whatever, try to get better. The one thing about him that he needs to continue to listen to is just not being so hard on himself. Just keep getting better. Don't worry about the mistakes. Just stay in a flow and stay there and just play. When he does that, he's pretty amazing. When he gets out of himself, it can be a train wreck at times. But the 2-year experience for us as a coaching staff, watching him getting better, becoming a starter, getting better, becoming a starter, helping us, having this spur of the moment dunk out of nowhere, highlight, reel that you can barely remember. Those are the type of things that should make him enjoy the experience and the journey that he's on, and it definitely makes us enjoy what we do to help you guys, and we hope you continue it, man. I want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Come here, Nick. Man, gotta get a hug. This guy, man. Known him for a while. Well, scholar, athlete, awesome. That's pretty awesome, man. I still remember him back in 8th grade playing in our ABC league. Did I think he would be a varsity player at that time? Probably not. But I hoped. He was tall, so I had to hope that was going to work out. Another guy, been in our program for 4 years, kept trying to work, always pretty athletic, especially as he started to mature. Always wanted to be more of a guard shooter type, maybe ball handler, point guard. Kind of had to pull him away a little bit from that, try to work on that defense, rebounding thing after a mistake. Yeah, that would be the attitude I expect. But the one thing you can't take away from him, he really has been determined to play and work on his game. He always brings a tremendous amount of positive energy to the gym. Sometimes too much, gets a little jokey, a little over the top, but you need that too, when you're practicing every day as hard as we do and concentrating, you got to be able to break that up a little bit. He's one of those guys you could always rely on for that. This year was very tough. I know it was very tough for him. Came in, wanted to have a huge impact as he gets ready to try to play in college. The unfortunate back injury really, really slowed him down. He tried really hard. I would say kind of made me uncomfortable at times because, I knew he was giving it everything he could, but he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. And as a basketball player, and I know Kalen's been through injuries, there's nothing worse than that feeling as a player when you want to do more and you can't, and you're just trying to help your team. That's a huge thing, and he really did that for us as long as he could. That decision to stop and really try to recover and heal was probably one of the hardest moments he's ever had. And I respect that. Definitely feel for you, man, because I want you to be as successful as you can, and as you know, man, I'll help you do whatever you want to do once you get all healed up. But thank you for all your energy and effort over the 4 years that we've had you, because every moment has been special and important, and I love you, man. One last thing for that, I am going to give Nick that award. Nick, for us, is our coach's award, just for that effort. Thanks, Nick. JoJo. Man, I would say it's been a long 4 years with this man. And he is a man, by the way. I'm telling you, this guy at our open gym, I mean, it's, go back a little bit here. This guy, you don't really think of him as a basketball player. When you see him on the court sometimes, I mean, he's hard to size up. I mean, good, tall kid, so that's always a benefit. But he does not look like a basketball player. He is very deceptive. I know going into, even last year, going into last year, just starting to watch him play at the varsity level, you could see there was something there. You wish, and again, he'll be the first one. He loves to work out, not in the gym, but he loves to work out. It's actually a huge benefit for him, though, because it made him really confident, very strong, which unfortunately for our program we need to get better at. We need to get stronger and be able to get tougher. But he was one of the toughest players we've really ever had in our program. And for me, especially over these 4 years, I would say he is definitely one of the toughest. Goldberg was close, but he brought that kind of toughness every game, every day, to practice, to open gym. He really had that attitude. Sometimes it's not good. I mean, you don't like it, but you have to respect it. And I think, last year we were really hard on him, wanted him to play more defense, wanted him to be better at that end. He didn't have to do as much last year. So coming into this season, knowing, especially after watching him in practice and stuff, knowing that he would have to step up in multiple ways for us to have any success. Talked about it, got a lot of young guys in the program. Somebody needed to establish themselves and be able to carry us through the learning process. And that's not an easy thing to do. He's not a leader in that way. He's not going to teach them and help them that way. He wants to show them and lead them by playing hard. And sometimes it's not easy. He'll get under your skin. That's who he is. But without him and the way he played and his energy, we're not even talking about that he led the team scoring wise and was able to dominate for us offensively, but just the energy and emotional commitment when he played and to give us everything he had. Didn't have great games every time, but nobody does. But he was consistently going to give us everything he had emotionally to try to win. And for that, coming in when you didn't really know how to be a leader in that way, I think it was a huge benefit for us. Obviously for me as a coach to have you. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. I know I always joked about how much time you actually spent in the gym, and I know that almost hurt you a little bit, which is odd, but a little, I just said a little. But no, I mean, your game is odd and awkward. You're not a good ball handler. You don't move. You don't move with any kind of real flow, which I think is good for you because it worked. But you get things done. And sometimes you just need guys that'll get stuff done. And again, kind of like Finn, I mean, last game of the year, got hurt in the Newberry Park game, couldn't finish it, which could have been a huge win for us. Comes back after hurting his knee, has basically his career high and best game of his career. And it's just a tribute that's who you wanted to be. That's who you want to be. And I just, I think you're going to be very successful with that kind of energy as you go forward. And hopefully you'll hang out with us as often as possible. And, just don't take me down under the basket. That's all. I just don't need that. Let me shoot some jumpers and we can be friends. All right. Thanks, JoJo.
Yeah.
And JoJo is our team MVP. Yeah. And congratulations to JoJo for being named second team All Marmani this year. Good accomplishment. Our league has a lot of talented guys, and that's a huge accomplishment when we get that honor and don't finish in the top 3. So that's huge. Again, thank all of you for your commitment and energy this year on our varsity team. You seniors, you will be missed. Come back anytime, hang out with us, play open gym, try to show the young kids what it's about. But definitely appreciate it. For all you senior parents, thank you for all your support over the 4 years. Definitely can't do it without you. We understand how much you have to put into it too. It's not easy getting to practice, getting to games, going to tournaments. It could go on forever. Just know that we can't do it without you, and really appreciate all that support. And everybody this year, I just want to say, thank you. Again, it's a long year. It ends really quickly, but it starts so early. We go back to work trying to get ready with all our future prospects, and get ready for next year as soon as we can. But every season is special, and just thank you for all that you guys do, being committed to us as coaches. A lot of respect for everything. So thank you guys, thank you kids. Trying to see if there's anything else.